Jamie Lee was back on Larry King Live on September 13th, 1996, this time promoting her children's book, Tell Me Again, which dealt with adoption. And Jamie Lee's children are adopted, and she describes, one, her guilt for dragging her children through what her goal was for writing the book, which was to knock down the stigma of being adopted. And here she is talking about having adopted children all over the place. But she talks about the pain that the kids went through all the time by other children saying, well, that's not your real mom, and hushed tones and talking about it, and how it's really no different than getting a dog that you love with all your heart, except it's a human being. Yet people accept you adopting animals. They don't really accept you adopting children, which is one of the most noble, beautiful things you can do. So, this Jamie Lee Curtis, and congratulations on your win in the Oscars tonight, Jamie Lee. All these things I've uploaded, I had to take down because I didn't have an introduction, so it gave me a real good reason to get them back up there. What an introduction. Congrats. Pow! Is that what the kids do? Pow! Pow! Pow!
From Los Angeles, here's Larry King.
Good evening. The set's a little different because we're going to begin with Jamie Lee Curtis and then usher in a whole panel to follow her to lead into a major program dealing with adoption and with the publication of Jamie Lee Curtis's new book, illustrated by Laura Cornell.
Thank you.
Called Tell Me Again About the Night I Was Born. There's the cover. Does that mean you saw the baby born?
The book doesn't mean that I saw the baby born. The truth is, with my second baby, I actually was present when my son was born.
Well, what is adoption, or what makes it different once the baby's home?
I don't believe that once you hold a child and take it as yours, that it is any different. And there's a terrible analogy that I'll bring up only because it's the one that actually makes people think about it the most. Pets. It's a terrible thing to say, but you tell me one human being that has a pet that they love, that they don't feel is theirs, that they would do anything for, and yet, obviously we don't give birth to them, but they are part of our life. They're part of our heart, our soul. And, you know, adopted children, when you bring a child home, or when you're present at the birth, or however your family is born, which is the real key why I'm here tonight, or why I wrote a book, is once that child comes into your life, they're yours and your life is changed forever.
Why did you adopt?
I can't have children.
So you were left with either no children or adopting children?
Yeah, I mean, in my family, this was a choice that we had to make if we wanted to be a family, which my husband and I both wanted to raise children.
Was the process difficult?
The process for me was remarkably straightforward. You can be very aggressive about it in an open adoption situation. You can actually be quite aggressive about it in the sense of people actually advertise in newspapers. The key here is that there are women who've chosen not to abort their children, who are carrying children who've decided to place them. And they are all over the country. Some of them have representation, some of them have lawyers, and some of them don't really know what to do yet.
Wouldn't there be a lot more of it if whites adopted black children? You think?
Do I think that there would be more
adoptions and more births?
I think that there are a lot of adoptions. I think that, in fact, there are more and more. More and more women are finding it later in their life to try to have a family. They can't. The birth of a family, if you want to be a family, this is one avenue that you have to become. I mean, there's in vitro, there's a lot of technical stuff that you can do to have a natural child. Surrogacy, there's a big, proponents of surrogacy. I am the blessed parent of two incredible babies.
Well, how old now?
I have a 10-year-old daughter and a newborn 6-month-old today on the Jewish New Year. 6-month-old today. He is 1/20th of a decade.
Is he Jewish?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Well, tell me again. Tell me about the book.
The book was written.
Why?
Well, I was talking to your staff today. You know, on some level, I've betrayed my children by writing this book because I am highlighting the very fact that doesn't need to be highlighted in their life. They are adopted children, but they are my children. I am bringing up the fact that they are adopted over and over again now by promoting a book about adoption. I wrote it because people talk to my children and about my children in hushed tones. Children are very cruel to adopted children. They say cruel things.
Why?
She's not your mommy. She's not your real mommy. You don't really belong to her. I mean, there's a myriad of things that happen. And what is important to me is that there are myths about adoption. They're very much in the dark ages. People know nothing about the modern, open adoption, positive sides. All they hear about are the horrible stories that are serialized in the magazines.
Like?
The horrible, I think Baby Jessica was the name of the baby, where the child had been adopted. The birth mother chose to on some level, take, again, the story was so confused, and there was culpability on both sides, so much so that we never understood truly what happened. All I saw was that baby girl being pulled away from the people that she was being raised by, and it broke my heart and the country's. But that is one tiny little story amongst millions of stories of happy, successful families that are built through adoption.
And that's why you did this.
That's why I wrote the book.
All right, why is it a children's book?
Because I think it all starts with children. How we talk about life to our children is how they will then in turn interpret it. And I'm uninterested in writing a book for adults, but the one group of people that I can affect would be the children my children go to school with, and the future children that will go to school with adopted children who know that there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, are you adopted? Really? Oh, that's cool. Rather than, oh, you adopted, which is how it's normally done.
This is written for what age?
Say 4 to 8, 4 to 9. I mean, my daughter, who's 9.5 and looks like a supermodel, still loves to read a picture book.
Is it for adopted children?
No,
Yes, no.
Listen, if the only people that read this book was an adoptive family, I would be so thrilled that there was, on some level, a document for them to help talk with their kids. But for me, rather than cull out adopted children as special, I want them to be included in the marketplace. I want them to be included in the classroom as just, this is one way a family is born. So the way I try to promote the book, not for monetary reasons, but truly, it's about the birth of a family and how that family is born.
Want to do a little reading from? We only have about a minute and a half left, and we got a whole panel coming in here on this book. Let's hear
Pressure.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Pressure, Jamie. Pick a page. Beautifully illustrated, by the way.
Unbelievable, by Laura Cornell. Tell me again about the night I was born. Tell me again how the phone rang in the middle of the night and they told you I was born. Tell me again how you screamed. Tell me again how you called Granny and Grandpa right away, but they didn't hear the phone because they sleep like logs. Tell me again how you couldn't grow a baby in your tummy, so another woman who was too young to take care of me was growing me, and she would be my birth mother, and you would adopt me and be my parents. Tell me again about the first time you held me in your arms and called me your baby sweet. Tell me again how you cried happy tears. Tell me again about the first night you were my daddy and you told me about baseball being the perfect game like your daddy told you. Tell me again about the first night you were my mommy and you sang the lullaby your mommy sang to you. Tell me again about our first night as a family. Mommy, Daddy, tell me again about the night I was born. That was the fastest interpretation of this book that it will ever be read in the history of the country.
It's brilliantly illustrated. I look forward to many more visits.
Thank you
with
very much.
And you're doing a sequel to...
A Fish Called Wanda. Yes, it's called Fierce Creatures. It'll be out in January.
The same cast?
Same cast, all different characters, very funny. Set in a zoo.
The book, set in a zoo.
Set in a zoo.
Tell me again about the night I was born. The writer, Jamie Lee Curtis. The illustrator, Laura Cornell. They deserve as much credit as the writer.
As much
children's
so.
book, maybe more.
Thank you.
Brilliantly done. When we come back...
You are such a mensch. Oh, darling. And you're working on the new year.
Having trouble at home? No, it's not sunset yet.
He's right. We're in Southern California. Okay, fine.
Okay. Tomorrow night show's taped.
Fine. I'm
And the
sorry.
Scorpio gives it to a Scorpio.
Right away.
You threw me, Jamie Lee.
I'm sorry.
I can't.
They're ushering me out. This poor, he's
tomorrow
ready.
night, Mort Saul and Art Buchwald, two great
Art
American humorists. And 1 week from tonight, a full hour with Jack Kemp.
Ooh.
Want to say goodbye again?
Bye, Jack.
No, me, to me again.
I need to say goodbye to Jack because you ain't going to make it. Sorry.
We'll be right back with the panel. Don't go away.